Hey guys, what's going on? Pride London here. You guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into today's video. So we're starting off with goal. Why talks between Milan and Chelsea for €60 million duo ultimately collapsed. And as you can see here, Bakayoko and Rudiger are pictured. That's because AC Milan were actually interested in taking both of them, whether it was, a one or the other, and then if they got one, they'd be fine with not getting the other. But they were interested in two of our players. And as we can see, AC Milan were linked with moves for two out of favour Chelsea players during the summer window, but neither arrived in the end. Nazar Kinsella spoke to Milan News and confirmed that Milan were interested in signing Antonio Rudiger right up until the end of the window. So deadline day, there were probably still talks going on for Rudiger. And it says, however, the Rossoneri and their Serie A rivals Roma were behind Tottenham for Rudiger, West Ham, Barcelona and PSG in the race, as Milan wanted a loan with an option to buy, but there were several problems. So they were definitely looking for an option, not an obligation, as we'll see here. The salary was a bit of an issue, and it says, and the Blues also wanted an obligation to buy an option, having paid €30 million to sign him from Roma. That's for Rudiger. He can still leave in January, and apparently Tottenham and West Ham are expected to look into the Championship because there's sort of restricted transfers still available. They can, between the English leagues, there can still be some movement, but not from foreign countries. Regarding Bakayoko, the situation was similar to Rudiger's. Chelsea asked for an obligation to buy, while Milan offered only an option. So they did offer to put an option in there, but Chelsea were like, no, we want a definite fee. In an operation similar to that of 2018, which is, when he went there in 2018, there was an option, not an obligation. Chelsea wanted to recoup most of that €40 million they paid Monaco for the 26-year-old, and asked for around 30 to 32 million of that 40. So we would be getting most of our money back for a player who hasn't been doing very well lately. This is why an agreement was not reached, and he joined Napoli on a €5 million paid loan. So all in all, there we have it. Rudiger was sort of, there's a talk that he didn't want to go to Tottenham because it's Tottenham and the fans would be annoyed. There's that, sure, maybe. But then it probably is more likely that AC Milan weren't really willing to agree to the obligation to buy. Of course, Chelsea are fine with letting them go on loan for a year, but then they want them gone, and that's why Chelsea also wanted him to sign a contract extension, so that if he did go on loan and he came back, there'd be enough sort of contract length there to discuss a reasonable fee for him to depart, and Chelsea aren't going to get that. I don't think Bakayoko will ever leave Chelsea for a reasonable amount of money. This 30 to 32 million sort of euro fee that they're wanting, I'm not sure it's ever happening. I think we'll be lucky to get 15 to 20 million for him. Realistically, I think he'll probably end up going on a free. As for Rudiger, I mean, a lot of fans really do still think that there's some that probably think he's our best defender, but there's definitely some that think, he's second, best, third best. Personally, I don't agree. I think Thiago Silva, Kurt Zouma, and then Tomori is my third choice. Rudiger makes too many mistakes for me, so personally I wouldn't have him in there, but everyone's got their opinions. And I could see Rudiger, probably not playing a major part this season unless we have a crazy amount of injuries in the centre-back position. And I think this might be his last year at Chelsea, and then next year we see him moving on for a decent fee. We paid €30 million, I believe it said in here. Yeah, 30 million. I think we could get something around there, maybe a bit less. Then we have news of a deal that Chelsea actually did complete but has gone under the radar a little bit. Chelsea complete transfer of promising goalkeeper, and you're thinking, what? We got Edouard Mendy, we've got Willy Caballero, we've got Kepiri the Balaga. Who is this? Who is this guy? It's a youngster, but he is apparently, I don't know anything about him personally, but he is apparently quite well regarded. Paris FC have officially announced that 16-year-old Sami Tlemcani has joined Premier League side Chelsea. The promising goalkeeper leaves the League Two outfit after just over 2 years with the club. So he's been with Paris FC for a few years, but apparently he's been training with the first team since he was 15. So he's now 16 years old. So for a year or so, he's been training with the first team boys. Which is crazy to think that a 16-year-old kid is training with the first team. Imagine the height difference. I don't know much about this guy at all. There isn't much data to go off. But it says, with very little known about the goalkeeper at this stage of his career, the fact that Lemkani trained with Paris FC's first team since he was 15 speaks volume of the kind of prospect the Blues have on their hand. And he is apparently well regarded to be one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, but a big, future star in goal. And I'm fine with that. Chelsea snapping up a 16-year-old kid that's, probably not going to be in the side for another possibly 10 years or so. Like, we honestly don't know. He might never make the Chelsea team, but he is currently, one of those hot prospects that are on the market. And he's been with Paris FC for a couple of years in League Two, and now Chelsea have snapped him up. So kind of exciting, but it's definitely a slow burner. That is one that we'll, reap the rewards of. If he's 16, let's say realistically 5 years, he'd be 21. Maybe we see him into the team then. Maybe not. Maybe this guy never makes it, but we'll see. And sort of sticking on the subject of goalkeepers, as you can see here, Chelsea goalkeeper Kepiri the blogger has vowed to turn things around at Stamford Bridge if he gets the chance. No, if he gets the chance. Maybe he's really not expecting to have much of a chance, but he was quoted saying, "I feel good, strong and confident. Maybe not the dream and expected situation. We have to experience things like this during our career as footballers. I need to carry on working calmly. I'm confident to turn the situation around. When I have the opportunity to play, I will try to do it the best possible." So mentally, Kepa seems to be in a good state. He could say, like, I'm really struggling, like the sort of abuse from the fans and all this sort of like pressure that's being put on me really isn't helping me. But he sounds pretty mentally solid there. Like, he's saying, I feel good, strong, confident. So assuming he's telling the truth, Kepa does have a lot of faith and belief in himself that he is going to turn things around at Chelsea. I know there's a lot of people that would say, no, never play for Chelsea again because, of his poor performances. Personally, if he comes good, then I have no problem with him playing Chelsea again. But we do have Edouard Mendy in at the moment, who is looking, from what we've seen of him, not much. But, like, we've seen bits that he's looking decent. So Kepa's going to have a lot of fight to get back into the first team spot at Chelsea. But at least if he's confident, then he's got the right mindset, maybe he can do it. Then we have some bids coming in from Championship sides offering to sign a Chelsea defender on loan. And I first saw this and I thought this was going to be about Fikayo Tomori, and I was like, okay, maybe in the Championship, but I think he's probably worthy of a Premier League club. If he rejected West Ham, who's it going to be? As you can see down here, it is Rahman. And reportedly he is claiming he is targeting a loan spell in the Championship to help reignite his career. He's only 26 years old, so not quite into his prime yet. Give him a couple of years and he'd probably be right in the middle of his prime. Apparently Middlesbrough and Watford have made offers to sign him on a season-long loan from Chelsea. I'd be surprised if we didn't accept, because we don't really have plans for Rahman. As far as I'm aware, he joined us 5 years ago and has never really been one for the first team. So, I don't know. This one, I'm fine with him going. Ideally, like they're offering a season-long loan, I'd prefer to see him go permanently, because clearly we have no plans for him. But I suppose if he's not another club and he's training at these fantastic Chelsea facilities and collecting the paychecks, then I guess he's got no problem with hanging around. But on this one, sure, I hope Middlesbrough or Watford get him, ideally permanently, but he'll probably be on a loan. That is going to be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, don't forget to hit the join button down below if you want to support the channel. I really do appreciate it. Also, anyone that wants to sort of ask questions for sort of Q&A sections, of course, there's no football for a little while now because of the international breaks, and transfer news is sort of dying down because the transfer window's closed. So if anyone has any questions, you want to suggest any video ideas, anything like that, feel free. Might do it, might answer your question, might make a video based on your idea, whatever it is, let me know, comment down below. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.